how to construct the ground floor of the Gondor Mansion. So in today's video we'll be showing you how to take it from something like this where nothing is stuck down at all to the position where everything is stuck down and in place like this, combined with the previous video on basing. You're also going to see one of the biggest mistakes that I made and how I corrected it. So let's get into it, but first watch out for this statement. There's all things just to kind of line up and make it all work. So I've been doing some prep and just thinking about it before starting to record, so I think I've got this right. If not, I may have to redo the stairs, but let's not let that happen. Next up is the mildly terrifying part of gluing bits together. So obviously you want to make sure that you're putting the right pieces in the right way, so that I know that this is like the front door and I know that this is the edge that goes with this. So I'm going to be using Superglue to bond it. There's loads of different places you could add Superglue. I am going to add it, so this is going to come in here like this. I'm going to put Superglue here, here and here. Obviously you can put it on the tops, on the bottoms of the tongue and groove joints, but when you slide them together, because it's a pretty tight fit, that can just kind of push the glue out to the edges and then you've got glue marks on the side. So what I'm going to do is, I definitely know it's the right piece, I'm happy to go ahead. Just a blob of glue on each one, and then essentially I'm just going to go for it because this one is pretty good. Then you can take any right angled thing, so if you've got a set square, great. If you've just got an offcut of wood, that's fine as well, and just make sure that that is a nice square edge. So that one's one of the, I would say, not too bad ones. The next one I stick is not my finest hour. I mean, because I'm not using like a laser cutter and I'm just using a knife and foam can sometimes be unpredictable and other excuses as well. When you put this corner together here like this, both ways I've cut too deep on it, which means that if we put the glue there, which I tried with Superglue earlier, it's not going to work for us because it simply isn't going to be in contact. So we've got two choices. We can either do Superglue on the tops of all the things, or what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to use a glue gun. The inside of it is going to be pretty well hidden from anything nasty, so I am going to be very careful how much glue I put and where I put it. Now you don't need much, so I'm going to put that much and be careful not to get too much anywhere else. Barely even squeezing the trigger, but just putting a bit out. Definitely make sure it's the right way up, right way round. Using my thumb and finger to hold that in place in terms of how far in or out it is and getting the angle right. But hopefully that bit of glue, it's going to need a second longer because we're asking a lot of it. Because it's getting based, and this is another good reason to base it, because it is getting based, this is going to get all stuck down to the base anyway, so the strength of this joint isn't important, it's just good to have it square whilst we're doing the construction of things. So I'm going to put glue on the inside edge. I'm going to put it on the top kind of outside edge here. I mean, this is going to be the most unseen part of the whole build. It's lucky that I chose this position to do my absolute worst work. And when I say worst work, I mean it's fine. No one's going to die. It's just could be better, but it's good enough. Working for us. Yeah, that's good. At the bottom, it's good in theory because the other ones are good. That one should be good as well. So that is that now glued together. Yeah, going to carry on doing the same thing around the rest of it. So the remainder of these joints all stuck pretty nicely, and what's nice is that this kind of springs back, so there's some tension pulling it in. I'm going to put in the stairs now. Also, I've gone down the side and made sure that these, I mean, the ones that are blue here now, you can see that I've just had to shave like a fraction of a millimetre off. Nothing complicated here. I'm just going to super glue all down there, and then hold it in place. There's all things just to kind of line up and make it all work. So I've been doing some prep and just thinking about it before starting to record, so I think I've got this right. If not, I may have to redo the stairs, but let's not let that happen. Okay, so I'm going to do one edge at a time, I think, because there is a bit of give going to slot in exactly there. So that is holding. And we can probably put it up this way, we can. And just so that I can put the glue on this edge here. One of my classic things where I'm entirely unsure if any of this is in the shot, but added glue on each one of those. I'm going to bring that back down to flat just to make sure I get this in exactly the position I want it to be in, which I think is there. If it's slightly off the square, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's nice if it would be. I may put some hot glue down here. In fact, I think I'm definitely going to, just because there isn't a lot holding the stairs up. Not that it is going to be taking much weight, but it'll just add an extra level of strength, which should be good. Now for the slightly scary bit, I'm going to glue this down to here. I have cut a piece of foam here. This is just to push this out a little. It's because of the way that it's structured. This corner is getting pulled in, and I don't want that to happen during the sticking down process. So I've worked out where I need this to be. So I'm going to super glue all around, put super glue on all of the edges, stick this part down first, and then these stairs just need to be pulled back just a touch. So it's going to be there. I'm going to put super glue down and then push that slightly, and then hold the whole thing down, and then hope. Solid plan. Okay. Going to try and twist out of shape a little bit, but not too much. Can't see anything going drastically wrong at the moment, so I'm going to hold this a while longer, so be back once it's all glued down, I guess. So off camera I just had the least amount of fun ever. I was just starting to look at putting the floor in, and I came to put this in here. I was like, what the hell? Because you can see there, that is way, way off of 90 degrees. So I couldn't work out what's going on, and idiot over here, I stuck the stairs here, and they should have been stuck to there. So I've just had to, off camera, because I thought, I don't want to film this, I had to cut underneath there, underneath there, underneath there, underneath there, down the side of the stairs too, so that I can stick it back together there, because that is where it should be. That's where it should have been all along. And then that brings that back to the 90-degree angle that it was supposed to be all along. So did all of the right stuff with doing the right angles all the way around, and yeah, so I'm gonna have to stick that back down there and just do like a touch-up job with some grey paint. But you know, this is why we also means I might have to stick some more tiles down there. I'll have a think about that, because in fact I probably will. So yeah, be absolutely sure before you stick things down, because you don't, that's about as horrible. I mean, it didn't take long, but it's just a horrible job to have to even think about doing. But yeah, just thought I should share that with you. And this is where the ground floor construction will get you to, where everything is stuck down here. We have the top just resting on top just for show, but everything else is stuck down, ready for the basing process and the next stage of construction.